Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today for this exciting announcement. I'm grateful to share this space with you and one of our co-founders, Chad McGlone, who is joining us from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I'm bummed that Jenny wasn't actually able to join us today, but I know she is here with us in spirit. My name is Allie Jones, and I'm Executive Director. I'm currently in Austin, Texas, and have actually been talking with Chad and Jenny on Zoom this way for about 2 years. We invited you here today because we have an announcement about a new T2T global giving community called the Equity Faction. Before we share more information about what that means, I want to speak with Chad about why he and the McGlone family are so passionate about this global math movement in the first place. So, hi, Chad. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Allie. Thanks for doing this.
Yep. I'm not sure if you want to share anything first, but honestly, my big question is just why quality math education, and what does that really mean to you? What does it look like to you?
Yeah, I really would love to start just a little bit about my history as a mathematician and how I became a teacher, because that to me sort of describes why we do what we do. I have a master's in statistics, and when I got my degree, my wife said, all you do is talk about teaching and learning. You should think about teaching. And I decided to give it a try for a year, and it was an amazing experience. It was enlightening, and I learned a lot, and I think the kids learned a lot, but I wasn't connecting with really the bottom 3/4 of the class. So only the kids who were obsessed with math loved it, because I was doing great lectures. They knew they knew how there was a connection, and they were excited about proving Pythagorean's theorem. Most kids really don't know why I would use Pythagorean's theorem in real life, and so they just were lost. And I would say, how do I teach? Can I teach differently? And my supervisor would say, no, you're great. You have really sound lectures. You know the math. I went back and got my PhD to learn to teach differently. And I learned that if I could put a meaningful task in front of the students, I'd give them an opportunity to express their thinking, to ask questions, to elicit their understanding. It becomes a really rich experience for me and for my students. And so after I got my PhD, I taught for 6 years, same grades. And it was every day was an absolute joy to teach. I couldn't wait to go, how are the kids going to handle this activity? It's going to be so exciting. Actually, we have a picture of a teacher doing this, because the same thing happens for them. And so I just happened to go on a trip to Guatemala and to do some teacher training. And I worked with a teacher in the middle of the mountains of Guatemala, a Mayan teacher who had probably 11th grade education and was just lecturing. And I said, hey, can I just do an activity just to see how they do with this activity? And we did sort of a student-centered activity. And it was amazing, because after watching me teach for 15 minutes, the teacher's like, I think I want to give that a try. Just mind-boggling. And so internationally, because teachers know how to teach at home, and when they do it in the classroom, it becomes really empowering. And why teach differently? Because kids learn differently, they become empowered, and teachers start to see themselves as the experts they are. Every day is a joy to teach for that reason. So.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the kind of founding values of T2T that really comes through in everything that the organization does is this idea that we all bring a different kind of expertise into the room whenever we're working together. And so I know that's one of the things that's really important to create within the space of a math classroom, recognizing that each student also has different kinds of expertise and different kinds of life experience that, when partnered together and through collaboration, can build something bigger together. So that kind of connects into the reason why I asked you here today, which is because we're partnering together on how to get more people involved in this movement in every kind of way. So after all, we're a grassroots organization, and those are best supported by grassroots funding and grassroots voices. This new giving community that we're announcing today, called the Equity Faction, is a group of monthly donors who are funding local partnership programs that build equitable math solutions to fight all kinds of social injustice. We believe that we can make a greater collective impact and amplify all of our voices in this movement by standing alongside one another, and always alongside educators and students as they fight to carry us all into a better future. We're all passionate about this idea that everyone can be a part of the T2T global movement, right? We've talked about students, teachers. I have never been a teacher. I talk about my math anxiety all the time, because I think it's important that anybody who experiences that do it, so we can all confront it together. And that's part of this message for the equity faction, right? Maybe you don't have $120 to donate right now, but you can invest $10 a month for a year. That is really powerful. That means something. And I think the equity faction is about saying, let's build something together and recognize that right now we really do want to build a movement that there are a lot of big, powerful things happening in the world, and we want to extend it into a movement and make sure that it's not just about a moment. So the equity faction is about mobilizing all of us in support of teachers and students everywhere. So thank you so much for joining us, Chad. To learn more about the equity faction, we're going to leave a link down below in the comments here. And as we close out, please remember to check out the website updates and just check back here on Facebook for more announcements. And on that note, please wear your mask and remember to stay loud and have a great day.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you all.